Hey guys, so thinking about yesterday's lesson, it didn't really go very well in my opinion, so I'm just going to give you guys the bare bones, okay, of this next triangle, and then we'll just, hopefully get through it, okay? A lot of the trouble I saw comes from this. A lot of you guys just don't know how to multiply things. If you have the square root of 5 times the square root of 3, you need to know that when you have two square roots, you can multiply those together to get the square root of 15. Okay? If you have something like this, 5 times the square root of 3, you can't multiply those two to combine them like that. Whenever you have something like this, just a regular whole number times the square root, you multiply them, but you have to leave them separated like this. 5 times square root of 3 is written like this. 5 times square root of 3. Okay, so I think that was a lot of the confusion yesterday with just not knowing how to multiply square roots. Also, a lot of times I notice you guys are getting something like this, the square root of 4 mixed up. Sometimes I say square root and maybe you think I'm saying what is 4 squared, because some of you guys were telling me that the square root of 4 was 16. Okay, so I think a lot of this is just you're just getting things confused. So anyway, this is a big deal right here, knowing how to multiply square roots, okay? All right, so one thing that we're going to try to do today, it's going to involve multiplying square roots and, unfortunately, dividing by square roots too, is, figuring out what to do with a 30, 60, 90 triangle, okay? This is 30, 60, 90 because we have a 90-degree angle. One of the angles is 30, and that leaves the other angle to be 60. Now, because we have this triangle, one of these is a short leg, okay? This guy's the short leg, okay? This guy down here would be the long leg, okay? And then this guy is always the hypotenuse, okay? And here's the thing. Whatever you have for a side, okay, if I give you this long leg, there's going to be a method to get the short leg and then to get the hypotenuse, okay? If I give you the short leg, there will be a method that you use to get the hypotenuse and also to get the long leg, okay? You just have to know that method, okay? So look, if we start with the short leg, okay, to get the hypotenuse, you need to multiply by 2, okay? If you're starting with the short leg and you want to get the long leg, you need to multiply by square root 3. If you can just remember those two things, okay, you can do everything else. I promise, because watch. To go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, what does it say? Multiply by 2. So wouldn't it then make sense that to go from the hypotenuse to the short leg, I do the opposite? Instead of multiplying by 2, I would have to divide by 2, right? Okay. And again here, from the short leg to the long leg, if I start with the short leg and I go to the long leg, it says multiply by square root 3. What if I gave you the long leg and you needed to come up with the short leg? What do? Well, instead of multiplying by square root 3, if you're going this way, you divide by square root 3. Okay? So hopefully that is all you need to know. Okay, let's give some a try. All right, let's do we're going to do quite a few examples to tell you the truth. Okay, so watch. We'll just start off with two super, super easy ones, okay? I promise. All right, these are both 30, 60, 90s, okay? All right, so watch this. I'm just going to give you a 5, okay? All right, that's the short leg, isn't it? Short leg, it's across from the 30 degrees. All right, what's the hypotenuse? Well, the hypotenuse is here. To go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, look what it says. Multiply by 2. 5 multiplied by 2. That's 10, okay? All right, what about the long leg? If you're going from the short leg to the long leg, look what it says. It says multiply by root 3. So 5 times square root 3 is just 5 root 3, just like that. Okay? Here, you try this. You try this. All right? Tell me what the hypotenuse is and tell me what the long leg is. Okay? All right, here we go. You ready? 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times radical 3 is 3 radical 3. Look at that. I didn't even have to try. Okay? All right, what if I have something like this? Here, I'll give you guys 2 more. You can try this. Okay? What if I give you something like this? What if this is radical 7, okay? All right, so that's the square root of 7. Well, what's this guy going to be? Well, what do you have to do to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse? Multiply by 2, right? Well, what's 2 times radical 7? Let's look over here. Which one do I do? Remember, is it like this and you get square root of 15? Or is it like this, right? It's 2 times square root of, what did I say? 7. 2 times square root of 7. Okay, what is that going to equal, right? Is it going to be the square root of 14? Is that it? Is that what it is? No, you better not say that, okay? All right, so 2 times that is just 2 square root 7, okay? All right, and finally, this guy down here, to go from the short leg to the long leg, what does it say? Multiply by square root of 3. So now look what we're doing. We're doing square root 7 times square root of 3, okay? Right? Now we can multiply them, right? They're the same. They're like terms, right? So what do you get? Square root 7 times square root 3. That's right, you get square root 21. Okay? All right, so now you try one. How about this? The square root of 3. Okay? You try that one. All right, here we go. To get the hypotenuse, multiply it by 2. So we get 2 square root 3. Nice job. And then to get the long leg, short leg to long leg, what do you have to do? That's right, you have to multiply by square root 3. So what's square root 3 times square root 3, right? Square root 3 times square root 3. What does that equal? That's right, it's 3, just a 3, okay? All right, let's try to change it up a little bit. Okay, what if I give you this? What if I say that the hypotenuse is 4? Yikes. Oh no. Well, remember, if you go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by 2. So to go from the hypotenuse to the short leg, what do you have to do? That's right, you have to divide by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. All right, and then what's this guy? Multiply by square root 3, so you get 2 square root 3. There we go. All right, what if I have something like this? I'll make it even crazier, okay? What if I give you something like this? What if I give you, this guy is 7. Okay, now this is going to be scarier looking than it really is, okay? Well, what's half of 7, right? To go from the hypotenuse to the short leg, you cut it in half. Remember, to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse, you multiply by 2. So to go back from the hypotenuse to the short leg, you divide by 2. So 7 divided by 2. I know some of you guys are saying 3.5, but look, I'm just going to tell you, it's 7 divided by 2. Just like I said, divide by 2. That's what I did, 7 divided by 2, okay? And now, all I have to do to get the long leg is multiply by radical 3. So this is 7 times by radical 3 divided by 2, and we're done, okay? All I did was take this guy, multiply by radical 3, just like it says. To go from the short leg to the long leg, multiply by radical 3. Okay? Let's try something a little more challenging. Okay? This one's I'm just gonna do 2 more examples. This will be probably enough for today. If I give you something like this, 5. Okay? Now keep in mind, this is the long leg. Okay? Remember, to go from the short leg to the long leg, you multiply by radical 3. But look what I want to do. I want to go from the long leg to the short leg. So what do I have to do? I have to divide. Divide by radical 3, right? To go from long leg to short leg. From long leg to short leg, you have to divide by radical 3. You're doing the opposite. Okay, so go from here to here. It says divide by radical 3. So look what I have. I have 5 divided by radical 3. Okay? But we can't keep it like that. We can't keep it like that. Remember, we have to multiply by radical 3 divided by radical 3 so we can rationalize that denominator. Okay? So multiply radical 3, and what do we get? Okay? 5 times radical 3. Let's see what that is. 5 times radical 3. That's a tough one. It's 5 times radical 3. Did you catch that? Okay. So this is just 5 radical 3 over, okay, and then radical 3 times radical 3. That's 3. Good. There's that guy right there. Okay. All right. And now all we have to do is take this guy to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse. What does it say? To go from short leg to hypotenuse, just times by 2. Okay. So just times this by 2. And all you have to do is times the numerator by 2. Notice the 5, times it by 2. What do you get? That's right. You get 10 radical 3 over 3. Okay, that's all you have to do. Multiply it by 2. Okay, so let's try one more example. See if you guys can do this. Okay. Okay, so here we go. I'll do a square root of 6. Okay. All right, good luck. All right, here we go. To go from long leg to short leg, you have to divide by radical 3, right? So square root 6 divided by radical 3. All right, looks pretty good, but I have to rationalize the denominator. So I'm going to multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. So square root 6 times square root 3, that's square root 18 over 3. Okay. But square root 18, that's got a 9 hiding in it. So the square root of 18, that's really 9 times, square root of 9 times square root of 2, okay, over 3, right, over 3. And what is this? That's 3, isn't it? So 3, the square root of 9 is 3, times the square root of 2 over 3. And look, the 3's cancel, and we're left with square root of 2. So that is this side right there. Square root of 2 is what we get for that short leg. Okay? And now all we have to do to go from the short leg to the hypotenuse is what? That's right, you times by 2. So radical 2 times by 2. You guessed it, 2 radical 2. Okay, hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in office hours if you need any more than that. Bye.